some of my most happy times in higher education in my college experience was living in the dorms. Probably not the first semester, but after that, um, interacting with my peers in the living situation, doing the little RA designed fun activities, especially when I snuck into another dorm to do their fun activities instead. Or I helped use my car to pick up some things for an activity when I lived in an apartment building and went to the dorm with those things, and they let me stay and even win a free item for the raffle. I used to live in that dorm, so I thought it was alright. Um, when UConn is talking about their new dorms, they are also looking at the prevalence of other colleges like Western Connecticut State University and their enrollment. I'm not sure if this is such a good technique to look at theirs and say, ooh, I don't want UConn to sound like they're being jealous of Western, or, as the article said, the 12 community colleges that are part of this, they have dorms and they want. My sophomore year of college, I moved into a second dorm, and my roommate was a foreign exchange, and she is fantastic. I love her. We haven't really stayed in touch much, but the fact that they had dorms available to them was crucial, because living out of hotels, motels, living out of apartments is a lot of expense. And with my roommate, for instance, she had free tuition because she was just so brilliant. So having this dormitory available to them really helps them stay focused, stay on task, keep getting the good grades to make sure that it counterbalances some of the not so high achieving higher education students. And I don't know, I wish that UConn would think about this as more of a strategy for these students than comparison to the other universities. It's because of students like Jack Wigglesworth, or Jay Wiggs, that I love being a teacher and I love being a human being. It's hard to find people like this in today's day and age, but he used his talents for rap to make a song and dedicate it to a fallen friend who recently passed away. I wish I had a copy of this song, and maybe you can find it on the internet, or if you live in Glastonbury and you know Jack, you can ask him for a copy or a video, or have him do a live demo of his rap song. I wish I know him. He seems like a really caring and empathetic kid, and I wish his rap career all the best. Remember our talk about the Walking to School initiative? Well, it finally happened, and people were so thrilled about the outcomes. Yesterday's article on the 7th of October saw that students in kindergarten were not attending school very often. And with this initiative, the idea is to make walking safer and more fun while building a sense of community in the neighborhood and also encouraging better school attendance. The ideas came from various places throughout the United States, including Stockton, California, Salem, Mass, and Normal, Illinois. And their scientifically based research of doing this has proved an increase in school attendance, and it ties in the health, exercise, and everything they're doing in neighborhood school concept. So I am pleased to announce that it is working, and I wish that they did something like this when I was a kid. The closest thing I had, my next door neighbor decided that every Friday, instead of having our TGIF, which was on, I think it was ABC Family, a string of like 6 different shows which would last 3 hours of us watching TV, we'd all get up, get on our rollerblades, roller skates, bikes, or just walk around a huge, to me at the time, huge block. It was my block and the one closest to us, but being a residential area, they're pretty small. And that was to help us get together as a neighborhood and help us interact and exercise instead of just watching TV. Well, I'm happy to see that this is working out. When I went to school at Central, I had the privilege of being a student for 2 different classes of the Teacher of the Year, Jason Jones, or Dr. Jones, and his wife was also nominated of one of the 3 possible Teachers of the Year. So being in that close proximity to wonderful teachers who knew how to utilize tools in order to get us to learn and be the best at what they are really speaks to my educational background. And in an article about the History Teacher of the Year, I learned what it means to be a great history teacher. The lesson that was mentioned was when Jeff Cowan took his 5th grade class across a field and read from a script in order to understand the Pilgrim's Voyage and how difficult it was. And I just love hearing what great things they had to say about him. They did great communication together, and sometimes their communication was nonverbal. Hand gestures could tell them, get focused, get on task, work better together. And one of his students says he's funny. He teaches us in a way that we understand. And that's the main point of teaching. Teaching so that they're engaged and they understand the content. I'd love to pick his brain and find out what else Mr. Cowan does that's so fantastic, because I will admit I am a card-carrying member of those students who said, it's history, when am I going to need to learn this? Or it's history, it's happened, it's over, I'm done with it. Well, I have talked about being Jewish, and I am proud to be Jewish, but when it comes to the Holocaust and slavery in Egypt, or more Old Testament biblical things, that I'm interested in because it's more like storytelling. I'm not saying it's stories, I'm saying that it comes off like storytelling, and I like language arts as a writer. So that's how I was able to cope with some historical knowledge. But most of the time, history class and I struggled. We didn't get along. So, Mr. Cowan, if you could hit me up here, give me some tools to be a great history teacher, or some tools to be a great teacher, I would be greatly appreciated. And keep up the great work. So for all you viewers out there, leave your comments below and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.